What is up, everyone? Kate here from Bebby Tennis. Hope you guys are doing great. We got this much requested racket on the channel today. Very excited to jump into this Pure Aero 98 review with you guys, so be sure to stick around. But before we get into it, do not forget to like and subscribe. Guys, we gotta get to that goal of 10K subs. Help me get there, help us get there. We are so close, it means a lot to the channel. Let's do it. So, the Pure Aero 98, formerly known as the Pure Aero VS, currently used and endorsed, but I think still really used from with everything I hear, by the 3-time Grand Slam champ, current Roland Garros champ, and defending Wimbledon champ, Carlos Alcaraz, Holger Rune, and also Felix Auger-Aliassime, my fellow Canadian. This is a highly requested demo here on the channel and has been for probably the last year. We got a lot of crap for not putting it in my racket bracket. Didn't have access to it at that time. Didn't seem like the direction that I really wanted to go. So I finally have this racket with me. I reviewed it. I'm excited to tell you what I think about it. I strung it up with Super Toro. Originally it came in with Restring Sync. Thanks to Beckett from Tencom. He sent me this racket, so I played with the Sync. I thought both played well. The Restring Sync was a little bit on the lower side with the tension when it came to me, just because it was in the racket for a couple of weeks, but it does hold tension pretty well, that string, so I wasn't afraid to play with it for a couple days. And then I put my Super Toro in at 54 pounds. So, guys, it's here. I'm gonna give you my thoughts. I still am a little bit confused that Carlos actually uses this supposedly stock form. I think it has some weaknesses, but it does have some major strengths. If you're looking at the lead on here, this is just to balance it out, to get it up to spec. Beckett did this, so, you know, he's a master of customization, so I trust him. But this is all like this is plain Jane stock form, but the lead is just to balance it out, to get it to regular weight. So the first thing I noticed with this racket is I thought it played a little bit different than the VS actually, and I can't actually pinpoint why or how or where. I like this one more than the VS. You can, I don't know if it's this glossy beam kind of feel, but I think the VS was actually glossy as well, but I feel like, because I've played with the Origin recently, I used to play with the Pure Aero Tour, it's right here. Looking at this racket, you can tell it's supposed to be more control oriented, just with the thinner beam. You can just see it. It looks like smaller in a way. So I was very amped to kind of get my hands on it, because I'm like, maybe this is just what I need right now, considering all the forehand changes I've been going through. If you guys aren't familiar with that, definitely check out some of those vids here on the channel after. But yeah, for starters, you're still getting the absolute beast power that you would get from something like a Rafa Origin racket or regular Pure Aero. I feel like the power level doesn't really go down much. That's something I wish did maybe a tiny bit. The spin also is huge on this racket. It's really just exploding off of the string bed. The ball does not stay on the string bed for very long. I feel like with my head rackets or even Wilson rackets, you can really feel the ball come in and out of the string bed, where this is more just like it's just a launch pad. It just comes out of the string bed very quickly. It's not a bad feeling. I actually don't mind it, but that's just one thing to note. The ball coming out of the string bed has a different feeling. This racket is just a beast to launch forehands with. So if you're running around, you're hacking all day and just ripping forehands, it's a great one to do this with. I just feel like sometimes I'm just hitting it out maybe a little bit too much, and I think it's not necessarily it's a little bit of a combo. It's the power and the spin combined that I can't necessarily I can't get it down in the court almost. The launch was actually fine, but there was just some balls that I was like taking on the forehand that I thought were going to be like, not kill shots, but definitely like setup shots in a point or in a rally. And then it just flew out. And I didn't really love that part of the experience, where, you know, if I play with something like my Rad, or honestly, even with the Origin, I didn't get that like absolute launch out of the park feeling. I felt like the Origin, you know, was had a little bit more control, which is really weird. So anyway, that was my only really con. I wasn't able to hit a ton of backhands. I've mentioned this in my last few videos. I'm really struggling with my wrist, but the few that I did hit felt pretty solid. So I was hitting a lot of slice backhand actually with this one, and it surprised me. I thought slice backhand would really struggle with this racket. A lot of these power spin rackets, you know, touch shots aren't amazing with it, but it definitely was there. I was able to hit it totally fine, and it did the job. So if you're a player looking to hit like a one-handed backhand and you want to go to like an arrow, you want to get some of that free power, free spin, I would actually suggest maybe giving this one a go, because I think the regular arrow might be too bulky, might feel a little sluggish in hand. But yeah, it might be definitely worth a demo for players that want some of that, you know, spin power launch to try out with a one-hander. Just a thought. But up at net, similar traits to the Aero Origin that I had. Pretty solid. Once again, this is spec'd out to stock form. I say spec'd out because there was weight added just to get it there. At volleys, not really many issues at all. Like I said, it's very similar to the Origin. It's strong up at the net. It's stable. Was able to hit some pretty good touch volleys. Is it my favorite racket at the net? Probably not, but it definitely got the job done. And I mean, overheads were also totally fine. On the serve though, and we'll get to return, but on the serve is where I felt like I struggled a little bit with this racket, which was kind of an eye-opener. I thought I would love this racket on serve. I just felt like it was tough to tame, and the maneuverability a bit was not as what I was hoping for actually. It was a little sluggish through the air, I thought. Maybe some other people can maybe say the same, which is weird though. This is, you know, it's not as heavy as what I would use, but it's bulky in the throat. That's one thing that Pure Arrows do. They have this beam down here. It's a little bit different, but sometimes it just feels a little sluggish. All right, so that's just my take. I was able to hit like my serve okay, but I felt like on flat serves, it was sluggish. I couldn't really hit my spots as much on the flat serve. I was hoping slice and kicks were fine, but just couldn't quite get my spots nailed down with this racket on the flat serve. Returns were great. You can absolutely slap the shit out of the ball with this on a return. Don't recommend taking big cuts on return, but if you do want to take a big cut at a slower ball, that's okay, and this racket is beast. I love that on returns. It shined very, very well. But then like overall, back on the serve, similar traits overall. On the run, moving side to side quickly with this racket, you know, getting my prep. That's one thing I'm really working on right now. It's like my prep, and it's come a long way, and I feel like getting to that position quick and early, I struggled maybe a little bit more compared to some other rackets just because of the maneuverability. And that's really interesting though, because, you know, it's aerodynamic beam and it's supposed to be, you know, this and that. And I suppose that's more when you're swinging, but I still felt like it was a little sluggish at times. Guys, I really want to switch to this racket. Like, we're gonna really cut to it here. I really want to switch to this racket, but I can't. This is one that I got in the mail. I was so amped to try. It played well, but just not as well as I hoped. And it's a great racket for a lot of players. If you're somebody that's in that extreme tour realm or regular arrow, you want a bit more control, you want to stay with an arrow, or you want to move up from an extreme tour, extreme MP, this racket is raiding your wheelhouse. It's a cannon, like it really is. That's why I'm, you know, surprised in a way that Carlos and these guys, they use this racket stock, because like in a way it seems like it's like too much power for them. It's just really strange actually. And you know what, maybe that's why he's so damn good, is because he plays with this and he can play with it and he can tame it, and that's really impressive. I just feel like it just didn't check all the boxes for me, but it's definitely so close to being like excellent. I just think if it moved a little bit better through the air, if I didn't have these like periodic like radical moments, as in like hit a ball out by 6 feet that I shouldn't have, and it just felt, I didn't have that feeling. And maybe that's because it's coming quick out of the string bed, I don't know, but that feeling of it, the out of the string bed feeling, that launchy feeling, I don't mind it. I'm used to it. I used to play with that racket right here. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Thank you again to Beckett for sending me. I strung it with my regular Super Toro, also played with 3-string sync in it. It's a great racket, but just so close, but yet still a little far away from being perfect in my mind. But yeah, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We got fun stuff coming on the channel here. Stick around, like and subscribe. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.